Thanks so much. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, all the Liz and Liasa colleagues that have joined this webinar. I would just like to apologize. I have had load shedding. The power should be back any minute now. So it seems to, I think the network has affected my camera. It doesn't seem to want to show my picture, but hopefully that will improve when the electricity comes back. And for those of you who perhaps might be experiencing load shedding during this session, we are recording the whole webinar, so you will be able to go through the whole recording if you have missed some of the webinar. So I would like to welcome everybody. My name is Leanne Brown, and I'm the current chairperson of RETIG, which is the Research, Education and Training Interest Group of LIASA. And this is our first webinar for the year. So I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you all a very happy and to engaging with you all during this webinar and throughout this, the 4IR, Fourth Industrial Revolution, and the role of libraries, particularly in the African context of African libraries. And our speaker today will be discussing this topic in more detail. There's no doubt that the Fourth Industrial Revolution has had a significant impact on the roles and responsibilities of librarians all over the world. And it presents both opportunities as well as challenges for us all. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand over to the chair-elect of RETIG, who is Mr. Marupeni Ramabina, and he will be introducing our speaker. So over to you, Marupeni. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, colleagues. Marupeni from University of Venda. The bio for our speaker for today. We have with us here Professor Tella Adeyinka, who is the head of Department of Library and Information Science at the University of Lorin in Nigeria. Prof was a visiting researcher at the Department of Information Science at UNISA in Pretoria, South Africa. Before this time, Prof Tella has been a research fellow in the same department at UNISA from 2016 to 2019, and now from 2021 to 2024. Prof Tella enrolled in a PhD program through Commonwealth Scholarship in October 2005 at the University of Botswana, and he finished in September 2009. Prof Tella is a 3 times winner of Dr. T.M. Salishu Most Published Librarian Award by the Nigerian Library Association, NLA, in 2015, 2017, and 2018. And also a 2007 winner of the Council for the Development of Social Science Research in Africa, and Codesria Small Grant for Thesis Writing for PhD Students category. Prof Tella has authored over 200 publications, including articles in High Impact Web of Science, Scopus, and SCImago rated journals, SRJ, books also, and chapters in books. Prof Tella is a C2 rated researcher by the NRF, South Africa. Prof Tella's presentation today will focus on the 4IR and the role of libraries. His presentation features discussion on the concept of 4IR, its characteristics, the technologies in libraries, the impact of 4IR on library, the future trends, and its expectations in the adoption of 4IR technologies by the African libraries, including the challenges and the transformation of African libraries. taking this opportunity to welcome Prof. Tella to our webinar today. Over to you, Prof. Tella.
Thank you very much, Marupini, for introducing me. And I want to appreciate Lenny Brown and every member of the team for the job well done. Thanks for the organization of this webinar. And I'm very happy to be here to make this presentation titled For High Haro and the Role of Libraries. Globally, we discovered that technology is changing the information landscape, and nearly every area of life has been affected. So there have been development in many areas of life, as a result of this, technology revolution. And we see the advancement, we see technology advancement, which has resulted into the global experience of 4 distinct revolutions, while the 5th one is even emerging. Some communities, some nations of the world are currently experiencing that, So we can talk about the first revolution, the second revolution, the third revolution, the fourth revolution, in which we are now in Africa. The first revolution, looking at it, is a revolution that spans through the year 1784 and characterized by mechanization of steam power. Then we have the second one, it spanned between the year 1870 with mass production, assembly line, electricity, energy. Then followed by the third revolution, which happened or started in 1969. It happened to be characterized with automation of computers and electronics. And the one we have today in Africa and some other regions of the world, which is the fourth industrial revolution, is the one that is characterized by cyber physical system, Internet of Things, networking, and the rest of them. The next slide. So the next slide, you can see that I have tried to factor in that 5th industrial revolution, which some nations, some countries of the world are already enjoying. And it is characterized by human-robot collaboration, cognitive system, automation, and the rest. And this started in the year 2020. So looking at the title or the topic of my discussion this morning, it focused on 4 IR. That is 4th industrial revolution. So it is important for us to look at this particular concept. The term itself was popularized in 2015 by Klaus Schwab, who happened to be an executive chairman and founder of the World Economic Forum. And since that time, that concept has been used in many fora, numerous economic, political, and scientific articles have also been written, on this particular concept. Looking at the definition, what is it per se? 4th industrial revolution is a world phenomenon that has made the modern world a game changer, and it has resulted into modern technological innovations. So again, we can say that it is an era that represents a fundamental change in the way we live, work, and relate to one another. It is a new chapter in human development, which enabled by extraordinary technology advances commensurate with those of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd industrial revolution. That is the definition given by World Economic Forum in 2023, sorry.
Sorry,
there are still many other. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to ask if you could put the presentation, just click where it says from current slide at the top.
Okay, you are not seeing it?
I see your slideshow, but it's not in the presentation mode. If you just click where at the top there, you've got from beginning and from current slide at the very top.
That is what I've done at my hand here. Okay, let me redo that and see.
Yeah, because it's not
Now,
showing it. Yes, okay,
okay.
go to,
Is it
just say from beginning.
Showing now?
Prof. Tella,
I
you
just
have
did
to
that.
click at the
Showing now?
bottom. You have to click right at the bottom on your right, where there's like an icon in the shape of a cup.
Sorry, I'm still doing that.
On the bottom of your
Bottom
page,
right.
bottom right, below your.
Can you see it now?
Yes, but yes, I can see it, but it's still not in the correct presentation mode. You must.
Can you see it now?
Yes, I can see it, but you still need to click on the bottom right to put it in the correct format.
Slideshow, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you hover your cursor towards the bottom right, you'll see one of the icons is labeled slideshow.
I've done that here at my head, yeah. So I don't know what is happening again. I've put it directly in slideshow.
Okay, otherwise I must, if you stop sharing, I can share share the presentation,
Okay,
but then you must just tell me.
It from here. So I'll stop sharing it from here. So you can share it at your hand there.
Okay, I'll do that.
Hi guys. The other way, I think you can click on the view and then it's going to say reading slides. Because I see it's not happening with the other option. I think if he clicks on the view, it's going to give you an option to reading slides. It's going to make the slides bigger on the screen.
Okay. Yeah, do you want to try that, or should I just, for the sake of time, just share the presentation?
I have tried that. I don't know if it is working at your hand there. If not, you can just say, let me see.
Let me just put it.
What about that?
Is that okay?
Is it okay
That's
now?
perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, I'll just go to the correct where we were. I think you were on this slide.
Yes. So,
okay. You must just tell me when to change.
Yes. Like I was saying, I have shown us the image of the first, the second, the third, and the fourth industrial revolution. But if you remember what I said, is that, you know, some community or nations of the world are currently, you know, experiencing the fifth industrial revolution. And that is the reason why I added this image, you know, that presents, you know, the first, the second, the third, and the fourth and fifth industrial revolution. Okay, you can give me the next slide now. Give me this next slide. Yes, I have talked about, you know, how that particular concept of fourth industrial revolution was popularized in 2015 by Klaus Schwab, who happened to be an executive chairman and founder of the World Economic Forum. And since then, that terms have been used, and articles have been written, in numerous economic, political, and, I am saying that numerous articles have been written on it, and, the concept has come to stay, because in many fora you hear about it, people are shouting it, fourth industrial revolution, fourth industrial revolution, for I have, So there are so many definitions of fourth industrial revolution. Give me this next slide. So I have, a number of, this definition, in my slides this morning, as given by experts. Looking at Mafumana 2019, he said, 4IR is a world phenomenon that has made the modern world a game changer, resulting in modern technological innovations. Okay, that is from the perspective of Mafumina. Give me the next one. The next slide. Yes, according to World Economic Forum 2023, they said 4IR represent a fundamental change in the way we live, the way we work, the way we relate to one another. It is a new chapter in human development that are enabled by extraordinary technology advances, which commensurate with those of the first, the second, and the third industrial revolution. If you look at this particular definition, it's actually related to what I mentioned here earlier on, that this era that we are talking about has actually, influenced the way we work, the way we live, the way we do things. So, which implies that nearly almost every walk of life are being affected, and the library is not left out. And that is exactly the subject of our discussion this morning. The next slide. Yes, that is another definition, but I don't want to belabor us on this issue of definition. The next slide, so that you can move, very quickly and very fast. The next slide. The next slide. Yes. Now, if we look at the various definitions, what I think this, having look at the various definitions, what can we see regarding the characteristics of fourth industrial revolution? There are so many characteristics that we can talk about. We can say precisely that the era is characterized by the fusion of digital, physical, and biological systems, and which had a significant impact on library. Okay, so again, we can talk about the issue of smart connection. There is connectivity now between libraries and libraries, between information centers and information centers, as well as between information organizations, government parastatals, and so on and so forth. There are so many other characteristics that we can talk about. Can you give me the next slide? Yes, we can talk about the digital queen. We can talk about digital transformation, where library is enabled to digitize their connection and adopted digital technologies to provide online access to resources and services. And that's made it easier for users to access information from anywhere at any time around the world. Give me this next slide. I love to control this thing myself. It's not allowing my this thing to flow. I'm looking for a way of controlling it myself from here.
Sorry, Prof. Tella, do you want me to stop sharing? Then you try
No,
again.
don't worry, just continue. I be, controlling it at my own hand here.
Okay.
So I'm talking about the characteristics now, and I've mentioned. I started by mentioning the issue of this digital, fusion, physical and biological system, which has made a significant impact on library. So aside of that, we can talk about other characteristics, smart connection, which brought about interconnectivity, which provide the library the ability to manage and acquire their data made available in real time. Then we can talk about, data to information conversion. The era is now making it possible for us to convert our data, to information so that it can be useful for our users. Okay, so that the library as well can disseminate the information, for the users to make use of to their own satisfaction. Then we can talk about other characteristics like digital twin and talk about cognition. We provide the opportunity for the library to have the ability to identify different scenarios and support a proper decision-making process. Then we can also talk about configuration. We can talk about digital transformation, where libraries have now digitized their collection by adopting digital technologies to provide online access to resources and services. But you can also talk about data management. As a result of this revolution, you see data, available almost everywhere, including the libraries. And this data, we can't just leave it, to live follow just like that, but the data needs to be properly managed, okay? So it is the era that gives room for this issue of data management. And we can see the growth of big data and the need for data to be managed. And that has led library to be able to provide support for data storage, management, and analysis. Then we can talk about another characteristic, and that is artificial intelligence. We can see that one has entered into the library now. And many libraries are capitalizing on that in order to facilitate their information dissemination and information delivery. We can talk about information literacy as another characteristic. So here we see that the abundance of information available is making library to play a critical role in promoting information literacy. They are teaching users how to access, how to evaluate, and how to use information effectively, because we have it, we are surrounded by it. Okay, the era also make us to be talking about collaboration and networking. Okay, library is now embracing collaboration. Yeah, is now embracing networking by way of sharing resources together, by way of sharing knowledge, by way of sharing expertise. Okay, and that has led to the development of collaborative aspects and partnership with other organizations. Then, what are those 4 higher technologies that we are talking about that is making all of these things possible? The main technology used in the context of 4 higher is the cyber physical system, the CPS. Okay, and that CPS has a set of different enabling technologies, as you can see it on the screen. So here you can see big data, you can see autonomous robots, you can see simulation, you can see augmented reality, additive manufacturing, cloud computing, cyber security, Internet of Things, and so many others. And you see at the middle, you see digital data, you see automation, you see digital access, you see connectivity, digital transformation, okay? That is this era that we are talking about. And those are the technologies that are involved in the era. So what are those technologies, that have entered into library? I've given you the general, the broad technology that is facilitating 4th industrial revolution. But what are those ones that have entered into the libraries? We talk about big data, artificial intelligence, robotic, blockchain, virtual stroke augmented reality, machine learning, Internet of Things, drone, predictive maintenance, advanced analytics, robots process automation, nanotechnology. We can talk about drone, we can talk about others as well, which have entered into the library. Now that they have entered into the library, what are the impacts of all I have on library vis-a-vis the use and integration of all of these 4 high-hard technologies? Okay, so the 4 high-hard technology have impacted the practices and operation of the library. There is no doubt about that, and that has been happening irrespective of the types of library. We can talk about the fact that 4RI technologies have created new efficiency and have helped library to automate tasks and process through technologies. Then we can also see the delivery of digital knowledge that are now being supplied with low cost to customer compared to what operated in the past. Okay, we can now see functionally rich product and system that attract customers to use them continuously. You know, I was talking about the fact that, you know, some libraries have, you know, deployed, they have integrated some of these fourth industrial revolution technology. And one of them is robot. Okay. You know, the integration of robot into the library is now attracting many visitors into the library. Why? Because many users want to interact with robots. They want to see how robots can satisfy their information needs. They want to see how their query, as far as maybe reference query information or something like that. They want to see how robots can satisfactorily, you know, meet their information needs. So that is increasing the visit into the library. Now we can also talk about the highly multitask skill of staff that are now capable to support, you know, customers' demand. In those days, you know, you get to the library or information center, you need a thing, you just discover that, you know, the librarians or, you know, the experts, you know, or on duty is unable to meet the demand of the customer. But that is not true at the moment, because we now have, you know, staff who are multitask, who are very, very skillful in so many areas. And as a result of that, the library is moving forward. Okay. What are the other impacts? We see the availability of robotics in library, whereby they are assisting in repetitive of manual tasks. We see the implementation of cognitive technology that is now assisting patrons to access resources, okay, anywhere by connecting to a cloud computing. You can see the 24-hour services now. You can see, you know, as a librarian, the type of 24-hour service that is being rendered, okay? And what is facilitating that is nothing other than cloud computing, which is one of the 4RI technologies. We can also talk about the fact that there is reduction in the workload of library staff. There is enhancement in the processing of information. You know, information is now being processed faster than before. We can talk about the reduction of time wastage. You know, time is no, you know, we are now managing our time very well because these technologies are very, very helpful. We can now talk about resources and reduction in spending of money. Okay, you know, there's no need to duplicate any longer in the library now, because, you know, those technologies are very, very useful in order to minimize costs. Now, the organizer wanted me to give examples of all of these things as far as my whole university is concerned. But I want to say that my university has not gone far in the adoption and deployment of this particular 4RI technology into my university library. But I will give an holistic, you know, scenario of what is happening in most of the Nigerian libraries that have deployed or integrated, you know, this fourth industrial revolution technology. So I will be providing some, you know, a case study on each of these technology. So I'm starting with robots and AI. What are those universities in Nigeria that have, you know, deployed this particular technology? I want to start by mentioning University of Nigeria in Nsukka. They have implemented AI, and the chatbot is the particular one that they are using. Okay, and they are using that one in order to do what? To render services to the user. And they call their chatbot Ada. Ask Ada is the name of that chatbot. And this chatbot is now answering users' questions, providing information on library resources, and helping them with their research inquiries. Okay. Another university that has deployed robot and artificial intelligence is BC University in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. They have implemented robots to assist users with locating books and other materials in the library. And this robot can guide users to the location of specific book, and it can also provide information on the library services and resources. Then I want to talk about the Lead City University, which is located in the capital city of Ibadan. They have also implemented, AI-powered book recommendation system. And what are they using that one to do? It is being used in order to assist users with selection of books to read. Okay. The system also uses machine learning algorithm that can analyze users' reading preferences and suggest books that match their interests. Then another university that is currently adopting robotic and AI is, Confidence University, which is located in Northern Ogun State. Okay, they have AI-powered chatbot, and they are using that one to provide information on library services and resources to users. Their chatbot, they call it Who Librarian. Who Librarian now is now answering users' questions, providing information on library policies and procedures, and help with research inquiries. Okay, we talk about the prominent University of Lagos, who happen to be the first university in Nigeria that's deployed and integrated robotic technology in their services. Just like University of Pretoria deploy Libya, the robots that's been facilitate, information delivery to the user. So University of Lagos. So on this note, I want to present this to us, regarding the University of Lagos. Let's take our time to listen and watch it. Let's for a second.
Prof. Tella?
Let me move on because of our time. So the next 4 technology I want to talk about is Internet of Things. And what is Internet of Things? Internet of Things describes the physical object that, which sensors, processing ability, software, and other technology that can connect and exchange data with other devices and systems over the internet or other communication network. Okay, that is the example of the Internet of Things that I'm talking about. And what are those libraries? What are,
Sorry,
what are the libraries that are? So somebody is interrupting. Can you just mute that person? Thank you very much. So I'm on Internet of Things. So what are those libraries in Nigeria that have deployed Internet of Things? The CC Hub Library, is a library that is located in Lagos. Okay, and they have implemented in IoT solution to track the usage of library resources and provide real-time data, on the availability of resources. They are using that to help their staff to optimize the use of space and resources and then improve the overall experiences. Another university that have deployed IoT in Nigeria is Safe Babalola University. It is located in Ado-Ekiti in Ekiti State of Nigeria. Okay, they are implementing IoT-based system to automate the borrowing and returning of books. Okay, and they are also using the system, using RFID, that is a radio frequency identifier tags, to track the movement of their books. Okay, and with that, now library users can now use self-check. Okay, to self-checkout machine to borrow and return books to the library. So it is no more done manually, because of the deployment of that particular technology. Then another university, that have deployed IoT in Nigeria is Confidence University that is located in Oga. They are using it similarly to offer the same services to their users. Then University of Lagos is another library that have deployed IoT. So another 4 high technology that is being deployed currently in Nigeria libraries is the use of virtual and augmented reality. These are technology that enhances or replaces real-life environment with simulated one. And the augmented reality aspect of it, augment surroundings by adding digital elements to a live view, often by the use of camera on a smartphone. Okay, and what are those universities, libraries in Nigeria that are currently, deploying and integrating virtual and augmented reality? Pan-Atlantic University Library is one of them. That library is located in Lagos. It has an innovation hub that includes a virtual reality lab. And what is the lab doing? The lab is providing access to VR technology, including VR headset and software. And that is being used by the users in order to explore and interact with the massive virtual environment. Then we can also talk about the University of Lagos Library. They have also deployed virtual augmented reality. And what are they making use of it? They are making use of it to provide users with access to VR headset and software. Okay, that particular lab is designed to enhance learning experience of students as well as the researchers. Then we can talk about the Federal University of Technology Owerri Library, which has also deployed virtual reality. They have virtual reality lab where they are providing users with access to VR headset and software. And we can talk about Ahmadu Bello University Library. They have also implemented virtual and augmented reality. And that is allowing their users to scan QR code on library resources and to access additional information such as video and interactive 3D models. Then I want to talk about the use of makerspace. What is makerspace? It's another 4IR technology, which is a creative laboratory or space where people with ideas can get together with people who have the technical ability to make this ideas become a reality. That is the image of makerspace you have that you have on the screen. Which libraries do we have in Nigeria that have deployed this particular,
Mr. Andenyika,
yes.
We've lost you again on the slides. We've lost you again on the slides. Yes.
Can you just be sharing the one at your hand there? Are you with me? Please.
I'm one of the attendees. I'm one of the
Yes,
attendees. I do not have the slides.
Oh, Lenny Brown is helping me to share the slides. Can you just continue to do that? Please. Let me see if I can share it here. Sorry about that, Yes, I've reshared it. I think you can be able to follow it now. So can I continue with my presentation? Yes, makerspace is the one I'm talking about, okay? And the libraries that have deployed makerspace in Nigeria include the CC Hub again, a library located in Lagos. They are using that to provide access to tools such as 3D printers, laser cutters, and then electronic equipment. It is the space was designed to support innovation and creativity and to open library users to the wider community. Then Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife in Osun State is one of the libraries that is currently integrating that particular makerspace, the 4R technology, into their services. Okay. Then we talk about the University of Lagos. University of Lagos is using makerspace to provide access to tools such as 3D printers, laser cutters, and electronic equipment. The makerspace is designed to support their creativity and innovation, and they also open it to students, faculties, and researchers. Then the next, 4R technology I want to talk about is blockchain. What is blockchain? It is a digitally distributed, decentralized public ledger that exists across a network. And I have the image of that particular technology on the screen. Libraries in Nigeria and elsewhere in Africa and across the world are currently using these particular technologies. And what are those, libraries particularly in Nigeria that have deployed this particular, technology, blockchain, Covenant University. They have implemented blockchain-based solution for managing their books lending system, okay? And the system used this particular technology to track the borrowing and returning of books, making the process more secure and transparent. Lagos State University Library is another university library in Nigeria that have, deployed, blockchain technology. They are implementing blockchain-based system to do what? To store and manage their research data. And this system is providing for them a secured, tamper-proof way in order to stop sharing, in order to store and share their data, making sure that it is authenticated and integrity is ensured. Then, Nile University, Federal University of Technology, Akure, are other universities that have deployed blockchain into their services. Then I talk about the next technology, that is use of cloud computing. Cloud computing is another 4R technology that libraries are now using, in Nigeria and elsewhere in the world in order to facilitate their, their services. Lagos State University Library Board is one of the examples of the libraries in Nigeria that are currently deploying or that have currently deployed, okay, that particular technology. They use cloud computing for their library management system, and that is allowing their users to access the library resources and services over the internet. American Corner Lagos is another library in Nigeria that have deployed cloud computing to facilitate their services. They are using cloud computing for their digital library, which is providing access to a range of digital resources, including e-books, e-journals, and databases, okay? Cloud computing, going by its name, is a delivery of different library and information services to the internet, okay? And that one is doing a lot for the libraries in this particular area. And I have, that's the image of cloud computing. You can see in so many electronic gadgets, packaged together, and, which the library are now using in order to do what? To disseminate and render services to users. We have the application, we have the platform, then we have the infrastructure. All of these are being used by library in order to facilitate their services, okay? Then National Library of Nigeria in Abuja is an example of another library in Nigeria that is making use of cloud computing to facilitate their services. Likewise, Ahmadu Bello University, library, which have implemented cloud-based solution for managing their operation and services. Ahmadu Bello University is using cloud computing for their digital library by providing access to a range of digital resources, including e-books, e-journal, and e-databases. Another technology that have entered into libraries and which most of libraries are now using in order to facilitate their services is drone and aircraft without any human pilot, crew, or passengers on board. Actually, there are a sample of libraries in Nigeria that are currently making use of that too. Nigeria Institute of Medical Research Library is one of them. They are using it in order to facilitate, their services. They use drone to capture various images and videos of facilities and surrounding areas used for research and planning. So also we can talk about University of Nigeria, Nsukka, African University of Science and Technology, all of which are using drone for the same purpose of facilitating library, services. Then I can talk about the use of 3D printing, which is another fourth industrial revolution technology. Atlantic University is an example of university library. It's an example of libraries in Nigeria that is currently making use of 3D printing to facilitate their services. And they have implemented this particular technology, and other items for them to use in research and education. Okay, another university is University of Lagos. You can see the University of Lagos is almost everywhere adopting all of this technology. Okay, they implemented 3D technology to create models of complex structure and design such as building and machine. And they are using that one to help their students and researchers to understand the structures and how they work. you know, and I have the example and the image. I have the image of the 3D printing on the screen. Okay. So 3D printing continues. Federal University of Technology, Mina, is another university library in Nigeria that is, you know, integrating 3D technology into their services. And they are using the 3D printing to create prototype of new designs and products, which is now being used in product development and research. American Corner Library in Lagos is another one. They are using that one to offer workshops and training section, and to help their users to learn about the technology and how to use it, to facilitate their use of information. I want to talk about use of mixed reality, which is another technology, 4R technology that is currently being deployed by libraries. Mixed reality is an emerging technology that blends the physical and virtual worlds, thereby enabling users to interact with digital objects in real time. Okay. And what are the examples of university or the example of libraries, in Nigeria that are currently, deploying or using this particular technology to facilitate their services? American Corner Library, Lagos. They are using mixed reality technology to create interactive learning experiences, such as virtual field, trips, and simulation to help users learn about various topics. Then you can talk about Pan Atlantic University, also located in Lagos. Okay, they are using mixed reality technology to create immersive experiences of complex structure. They are using it again to help their users to understand the topic they are trying to study or researching on. Okay. Then we also have the example of University of Lagos Library that is using mixed reality. Okay, they have implemented the technology to enhance the user's experience of their library, and they are using it again in order to create interactive display and exhibition. Okay, so having looked at the technology, the technologies that libraries in Nigeria are currently deploying to their services. What can we say now about the roles of libraries in the 4IR? Of course, most prominently, we can talk about the issue of access to information. That is one of the road the library in 4IR are currently performing. Okay, we notice that there is increase in the volume and complexity of information, and that is how it will continue. And since that is the case, we now see and organizing information in a way that is accessible to those are performing in the fourth industrial revolution era is the new technology that are emerging, to play a critical role by way of helping people to effectively make use of this technology. And what are those things that they are exposing, the users to? They are exposing them to how to code, how to analyze data authority, as well as the development of basic computer literacy. Of course, those are the skills that are information professional in this particular, technology access. That is another role that is called technology. They are providing access to printers, virtual reality, blockchain ones that we can talk about. Library is now access to technology and information, helping in bringing people together. Okay, so having looked at the role of the industrial revolution, what do we consider as the future trends, and what are making use of those technologies. So whether we like it or okay, I think on that note, I wrote a paper which was in library RETIG News 2020. I tied to robots libraries. Are librarians ready to accommodate them? So arrive in the libraries, and we'll be, working. We can't, take a stance to know that about that. That is just the fact of the moment. Okay, so we can talk about the issue of technological glitches. That is expected in libraries with the employment of more new technology. So there is likely to be technological glitches as more and more emerging technology and 4R technologies are being integrated into the library surfaces. There is no way we can dodge such glitches. Robots will be used in library to assist with more tasking and assiduous operation, thereby boosting performance and productivity. We are expecting that to happen. It's currently happening. It will continue to happen. Then AI will impact the way information can be connected and found more excitingly. We are expecting that, and it will definitely happen. Okay, AI will transform library services. It will forever altering the means of skills and tools needed to serve the users. Yes, that is coming. We are currently experiencing it. Okay, machines such as AI, robot, and others will soon become workers. Okay, we soon become co-workers rather in most of our libraries. Of course, I've given an example of library where they have entered, and librarians and information professionals there are already, co-workers of those machines. And that is how it will continue, whether we like it or not. It is also expected that many librarians will step up. We need to step up their skills so that they will not lose their job to machine. That is very, very important. I mentioned it here alone. That is the fact of the moment. Whether we like it or not, they are coming. But in order for them not to take over our job when they come, we need to do something. And what is it? To develop ourselves. Now, having looked at that, the future trend and our expectation as far as the use and adoption of 4R technologies that have entered in the library are concerned, what are the challenges? Okay, what are the like challenges, and the transformation of the libraries that we can likely expect? Lack of competency, is one of the challenges. This technology are entering the library, but the question is it all the librarians and all the information professionals that are currently working in the library that possess the competency to work side by side, those technologies, or to enabling the effective functioning of those technologies? No. Okay, and that becomes a challenge. Lack of technology literacy, which is related to that lack of competency. How many of us are literate in the operation of all of those technologies that have been mentioned? Okay, that becomes a challenge. Poor internet connectivity. You can see Lenny Brand talking about the fact that there was load shedding. Okay, and when there was load shedding, when there is load shedding, what is going to happen to the internet connectivity? Honestly, the internet connectivity will be affected because the two of them work together. Okay, so that becomes a challenge. Without strong internet connectivity, all of these technology may not work the way we expect. So that becomes a challenge. Inadequate power supply, load shedding here and there, power outage for 3 days, for a week, for a whole month. All of these, are not good enough for the successful uptake of all of this technology, for the successful integration and deployment of this technology into our library. Poor funding. Yes, there is no doubt about the fact that there is economic recession globally. Okay, and that is affecting the uptake and the deployment of these technologies that we are talking about in most of the libraries. Deploying them, planning to integrate them is cost intensive. It is capital intensive because this thing goes with huge amount of money, and to make that money available, it becomes a problem because of this economic recession that have resulted into budget cuts in most of our libraries. Then we can talk about the high cost of for-hire technology. They come with huge amount of money to acquire them, to purchase them, okay? The library will have to spend huge amount of money for their acquisition. And where is the money? That money is not readily available. And that becomes a challenge. Dirty politics, which often resort to drain. That is peculiar to Africa. That is peculiar to us. We play dirty politics, and the dirty politics cannot lead to the successful of the integration of this technology, okay, in our library. You know, those who have the know-how of how this technology works, and those who can implement the technology can make sure that you can see to the successful, deployment and integration and functioning this technology. We are conspiring against them. We are waging war against them. That are they the one that knows? Are they the only one that can do it? And before you know it, they become frustrated. And before you know it, they relocated out of our region, out of our continent, to function in another environment. That ethics politics is a challenge, and it needs to stop. Then poor attitude of Liberian toward introduction of fourth industrial revolution technology. Yes, the mindset of some people is that no matter how formidable the technology is, no matter how robust the technology is in disseminating information, in facilitating and rendering services in our library, I will not join them to use, that is poor attitude. And that becomes a challenge to the successful implementation and deployment of these technologies that we are talking about, or of for-hire in particular, okay, along with the library. What about the issue of corruptions? Yes, we are talking about the fact that there is limited fund, there is budget cut, but still, the little that, the institution, our parent institution are making available for us to acquire, some people are, are spending it lavishly, diverting, the funds to something else, other than the acquisition of these four technologies that we are talking about. And that becomes a challenge to us. In my conclusion, permit me to mention the fact that fourth industrial revolution has greatly impacted and still impacting and transforming our libraries, and are taking libraries and their services beyond the traditional level. We have gone beyond the traditional level now as a result of the deployment and integration of these technologies. So with the trend in the adoption of fourth industrial revolution in Nigeria and elsewhere in Africa and the world, the future is very, very bright. There is no doubt about that. And soon, Nigerian and African libraries will catch up and compete favorably with other libraries in the advanced nation, because we are gradually getting there. You can see our libraries now deploying and integrating those technologies, okay? And gradually, all libraries in Nigeria, in South Africa, in Kenya, Zambia, and every other part of Africa, we deploy this technology. And before you know it, we are competing. We see ourselves competing favorably with libraries in the advanced nations of the world. What are my recommendations? Permit me to offer the following recommendation regarding this, my discussion this morning. It is important to note that integration of for-hire technologies in libraries is capital intensive. Therefore, adequate funds should be made available for libraries to acquire them. Funding to libraries should be increased. It is when the funding is increased that they can have the capacity and ability to go for these technologies that we are talking about. Training of librarians should be given priority. This is because the success or failure of a library service depend on the caliber of staff that are working there. If they are the type that doesn't possess the competency that are necessary, there is the tendency that adoption and integration of those technology will fail. Therefore, it is important for librarians to register for training to develop computer literacy skills, metadata skills, information literacy skills, and so on. All of these should be acquired by librarians to effectively serve the users in this era. Nigerian and other African information professionals should stop the conspiracy against their colleagues who knows it must stop. It must stop, and it must stop if we want to grow and if we want to compete favorably, with other libraries around the world. We have to, the time has come for us to cherish what we have. Okay. Let's value our home. Who knows? Who can turn around? And let's stop conspiring. I have here is the need for Liberians to risk. It is very, very highly recommended. Why? Because it will enable them to work alongside machine, who will soon become our co-workers. I've been saying whether we like it or not, they are coming to the library to work side by side with machine. We depend on how we are able to reskill and upskill ourselves. Librarians should not emphasize job loss due to arrival of fourth industrial, revolution technology in our library, but they should rather see that as an opportunity. They should rather see the technology, arrival in our library as our co-workers, and not as a threat that they will take our job. Thank you very much for listening. I'm very, very grateful, and I want to appreciate the organizer for counting me worthy to be the presenter of today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof. Tella. See, my camera is still not functioning properly, but I just want to thank you so much for your very interesting presentation. You covered the whole subject of 4IR and libraries very comprehensively, and we really appreciate your availability to present to us today. There was a part towards the last few minutes where you were breaking up a bit, but I think that's then again just the network issues. I myself had some issues from my side today, but thank you again so much, and thank you to the the Liasa office, Lebo and Anna Marie, for hosting, helping us to host this webinar. I just want to see, are there any questions? If anybody wants to raise their hand. I haven't seen specific questions related to the topic in the chat, but if anybody would like to make a comment or ask a question to Prof. Tella, please let us. Okay, I see Opera, the whole name, but I see your hand is up. You're welcome to speak.
Yeah. Good day. Hello. Can you hear me, please?
Yes,
Hello?
I can hear you. Yes.
Hello. We appreciate the Prof for this fantastic.
Hello.
Hello. I am appreciating the Prof for this fantastic presentation. And at the same time, I just want to please, if you can be able to see the copy of this presentation, if they can distribute it to us, we so much appreciate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. We will be sharing the presentation, the slides with everybody after the session, and then in a day or two, the recording will be available as well. But the slides I will send to the Liasa office for them to distribute. Thank you. I see there are two other hands. I think the next one was Adaton. Do you want to unmute yourself?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can
we
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm Professor Adetong Idowu from the Faculty of Library and Information Science, University of Ilorin. Professor Tella is my colleague, and I just want to congratulate him for this presentation. It's so detailed and really comprehensive. And I'm sure we have all learned a lot of things from him. Like the former speaker said, I just wish that the slides will be made available to everybody so that we can actually digest the presentation, because there were places where we lost his voice. The audio became inaudible a little bit. So if he can be gracious enough, or the association can be gracious enough to let us have the slides, and so that it will go around and everybody will actually benefit more. Once again, I want to congratulate him. It was a very good presentation, and we've all enjoyed it. I'm sure I'm speaking for others as well. So thank you very much for this opportunity to join you virtually on this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arutun, for your comments, and yes, thank you very much to Prof for a really interesting presentation. I see that Kanbi has got his hand up, or her hand
Can I
up,
respond to that?
Yes, you're welcome to, Prof.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to appreciate Professor Adeto the last speaker. In fact, it was just short notice. You know, if it's he was able to follow my presentation. You know, I just distributed the when I finished doing it that I have shared the interested in following my presentation. So all of you I want to assure you that organizer we
Hello, Prof. We can't hear you clearly.
Sorry, Prof, we can't hear you. It's very
Hear you
bad at the
clearly,
moment.
Prof. The network is breaking.
to you.
Why is it Vivo?
Hello, Prof. Hello, Prof. The network is breaking.
We can't hear you clearly.
We can't hear you clearly. The network is breaking.
You
Can you hear us? Please.
Hello, Prof.
Prof, yeah, we can't hear you at all.
Yes, we can't hear him clearly. The network is breaking.
This slides are available to us as well. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Sorry, yeah,
Hello.
we can't hear you at all.
Hello.
We can't hear you clearly, and we didn't know how you concluded because the network is breaking.
Hello. Can you hear me clearly?
Brandy,
Dr. Kabi speaking from University of Ilorin, Department of Library Information Science. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear.
Oh, please, can you just record?
Can I speak on?
Them.
Sorry, I see that there's still another hand. Odusina, do you want to unmute yourself?
I think Brian is having a problem with our network.
I can hear you now. Can I speak?
Yes, I was trying to say that there are. Oh, sorry. I was trying to say that there are. I was trying to say that there are other hands. I am with you.
Okay.
I am with you, man.
Now?
Oh,
Dr. Kabi, University of Ilorin.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Library Information Science Department. I want to join my senior colleagues to congratulate you on a very good presentation.
Hello, Lenny Brown.
I want you to please shed more light on the blockchain, because when you check on most of the internet, they tell you about the Bitcoins. How does that one relate to the library and information science, library operation and services? Please, can you shed more light?
Yes, thank you very much. It's a very good question. Blockchain originated from crypto, and that is the reason why most literature are associating blockchain with crypto, but it's not crypto in the real sense of financial transaction, but in the sense of information transaction now. Okay. Blockchain is very, very useful, particularly when it comes to the management of records in archives and information centers. And also in the area of exchange of information, sharing of resources among library, blockchain is very, very useful. You can see the interconnectivity, moving from one library to the other, or from one information center to the other without any interruption and without any kind of interruption or an individual or a user trying to break the chain. The chain is unbreakable. And that is one of the reliability of that particular technology in the facilitation and sharing of information resources among libraries libraries and information center. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So,
sorry, Prof, we can't hear you.
oh, you try in my department, you are my colleagues. If you need additional information on that, I will give to you. I have written some papers and articles which have been published that are readily available on TUNES, its importance in the management science. Thank you very much. I hope I've answered. There are so many hands up questions so that I can answer. I'm grateful, sir. Brian,
Yes,
I'm hearing you clearly at my hand here. There are so many hands up. You know, they want to ask questions. Can you just recognize them so that
Yes, sorry, I was just waiting for you to finish.
Yes, Brian. Brian.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm here.
There are, okay, thank you. There are so many hands up. I think they wanted to ask questions. Can you just recognize them and let them ask their question, Ma?
Yes.
Thank you.
I will do that. I was just waiting for you to finish. Okay, can I see there's Philomena and then Marupeni. Oh, and there's another one as well. Philomena, you can go first.
Yes, Philomena Gbemi Ogunleye, you have been recognized. What is your question?
Philomena, can you just unmute yourself?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My question boils down on still on the blockchain. We say it's a kind of information transfer. Prof?
No, it's not a kind. Yeah, something like that. It's info. You know, you can use it to transfer information. You can use it. It's a form of transaction. And what goes on in that transaction is the transference of information from one end to the other on that chain. Okay. There is, you know, the chain comprises of nodes, so many different nodes. Okay,
Yeah.
and each node carries a, and each node can be a chain from one information users to the other without any interruption. Without, it's very, very reliable in the area of sharing of information and resources among, you know, information users and libraries.
Sorry, can you play the role of a borrower? Because I'm looking at it from the angle of reader services now. Reader services department, yes, now.
You know, it is useful. Yeah, it is useful, you know, for reader services. It is useful for reference services. It's useful for, you know, in circulation. You know, yes, you can borrow and return.
Through
yes.
blockchain.
If you borrow, honestly, you know, if you borrow, the information will appear to everybody that, you know, that particular information at that point in time is with you. You are currently using it. And the time you will finish using it and return will also be visible to everybody. You know, that is that technology for you. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I need a clearance. God bless you. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, the next hand that I can see is Marupeni.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Prof, for the presentation. Maybe this question to you and other colleagues from the continent, particularly about the robots. What happens during power cuts? What happens to our robots? Does the service stop? Do we wait for power to be restored, or maybe we have alternatives? Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much, Marapeni. It's a very good question. You know, one of the characteristics of developing nation is, you know, this issue of power shedding, power outage, power this, power that. And, you know, all of these things we are talking about, they are technology that cannot function without this power. You know, power is the driver of all of this technology. In the absence of power, they won't work, you know. So the only thing, you know, libraries in Africa and other developing countries can do is to make sure that there is an alternative power generating machine. It's only when we have that standby that we can compete favorably with, you know, other libraries elsewhere in the world. So that issue of power, the issue of power, honestly, is an issue that, you know, developing countries are grappling with. And in the absence of it, all of this technology cannot work. Robotic in particular, okay? The moment the power is off, I don't think the robot can function again, okay? It can't function. If at all it will function, it will be so for some period of time, you know? If it is fully charged, it will work maybe for an hour or two, depending on the capacity, okay? And thereafter, it will stop until the power is restored. So that becomes an issue, you know, for us in Africa. So I think I've answered your question. God bless you, sir.
Sorry, Dr.
So
Adigun,
over to you.
I see
Okay.
your hand is up.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Dr. Adigun.
Okay, can you hear me,
Dr.
sir?
Adigun.
Thank you so much for the presentation, Prof.
Yes, I can hear. You're welcome, sir.
Okay, I just want to talk briefly about African countries being a temperate region on leveraging on the use of solar power to at least mitigate against the power source we are always discussing. We have a very good temperature and the sun is always shining well in Africa. I believe we can leverage on that so that at least we can harness the power of the solar to mitigate against this incessant and persistent power supply issue we're always discussing in every presentations. It is a known fact that Africans are suffering from this, but we should just look for alternative. And we just my little contribution.
Thank you very much. You know, in my response, you know, I mentioned alternative power generating source. So solar is one of it. And just like you mentioned, honestly, it's a very good source of power for us in Africa if we can leverage on it, because like you said, you know, we have, you know, African is sunning, our temperature is very, very okay. And that can power the solar to work, you know, for a certain number of hours. So it's a good one if you can leverage on it. Thank you very much. It's a very good contribution. I appreciate you. Yes, Brian, there are still some others.
I see
Dr. To recognize them.
Yes, I am. I'm just waiting for you to finish. Okay, Dr. Horsfall, you can go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Professor Tella, and then good afternoon, everybody. I just want to commend the Prof.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Ma.
for the well-detailed and investigated study. In fact, it has exposed us to more about the fourth industrial revolution. So, because I know there was a time I carried out a study on library and information science professionals practicing about this fourth industrial revolution and the COVID-19. But this, your study has exposed us and given us more knowledge about the fourth industrial revolution. I want to say that it is very educative. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I pray that all other universities, yes, I pray that other universities will also join to make the work more easier by reskilling and upskilling, just like you have said. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. I'm very grateful. It's a very important issue that you have pointed out. Yes, you can see that, you know, the number of libraries, university libraries, and other libraries that have integrated this thing are very, very limited. So call on other universities, libraries that are yet to do so. They should consider releasing funds for their libraries so that they can also follow the trends of things as regards the integration and deployment of these 4 IR technologies.
Yes,
you know, the whole essence of it is just for us to be able to compete.
Yes, Investor Port Harcourt is coming,
you know, with other libraries elsewhere in the world. Thank you very much.
Yes, Investor Port Harcourt is coming up with that too. Maybe within a short time, we will also launch ours.
That's a very good. That's a very good one. So
yes,
that's a very good one. Keep it up.
Especially at this changing times, this changing work environment time, because what you know before might be new to some other persons. So we really need to know more. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm delighted to be involved in this.
Thank you very much, ma. Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, I see there's another hand, Latif. Latif, you're welcome to speak.
Yes,
okay. Yes, good afternoon, everybody. And I want to appreciate the Prof for the wonderful presentations, because me as a student, I'm working on blockchain technology for my projects, and I've been wondering how to get the basic knowledge and understanding of what blockchain is all about and how it can aid my research. But with these wonderful presentations, I can say that it's a way for me, like a guideline for me to start my project, because with what Prof explained, with the interconnection of the blockchain technology and resource sharing in the library, it's a great benefit to me for being a participant of this wonderful webinar. And I want to appreciate the Prof and the organizer of this program. That me as an individual, I benefit from this webinar because it provides a guideline for me to start my project, and also with the detailed explanation from the Profs, especially on the blockchain technologies, it has helped me to gain more knowledge or even give me a start on how to go about my project. I want to appreciate you. Thank you so much for this presentation and for organizing this kind of events for us, particularly as a student of the Library of Science disciplines. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Latif. Thank you for your...
Thank you, Mr. Latif Sadiq Olamileka, a research student that is currently working on, blockchain technology and how it can be used in the library and information centers to facilitate dissemination of information and sharing of resources. So thank you very much, for asking, for making your comments. Thank you. So, Brian, there's another person. Yes.
See,
Brian,
yes.
Yes.
Can I talk? Okay. Yes, I see there's one hand gifted. Do you want to ask your question?
Thank you very much, the hosts, and I want to especially thank Prof for the wonderful presentation. I've read one of his paper, Robots Are Coming to Library, a librarian ready. This is another high hope now, at least for and it is an addendum to the existing knowledge for researchers and library administrators. So again, I want to commend Prof for this, and for some of us who are also working on robotic technology and their adoptions in library and different units in library. This is an addendum to our knowledge too, and we really appreciate you for your time and this kind research. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, gifted. That is Gafar Suleiman. Bran, that is another, research student of mine, who is also currently working on something related to, 4R technologies and information delivery in libraries. So thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you for your comments. I am grateful.
Thank
So
you.
hand over
Yes,
to you.
Oh, I
Bran.
see there's one. I think we should take one more hand because we are already
Okay.
at 1:30. And then when we share the presentation, sorry, can I talk? When we share the presentation, then you're also welcome to communicate further via email with Professor Tella. So I see this Tunji. Tunji, please go ahead. Tunji.
Yes, good afternoon, Ma. Good afternoon, Ma, the organizers. Then good afternoon, Professor Tella. Professor Tella is a senior colleague in my department and from the Department of Library and Information Science, University of Ilorin. Yeah, you have done a lot, and I believe it will assist me because right now I'm working on a particular topic, innovating library services using AI technology for better future in education. I listened to your presentation, and it's an eye-opener, right? And I hope by the time I have interaction with you, I'll be able to have this slide so that it will assist me a lot in the forthcoming conference that I started working on, as I've mentioned earlier on. I pray that God Almighty Allah will continue to enrich your wisdom, and the organizer, we hope to see more of this kind of imparting knowledge to the society.
Yes, thank you very much.
We pray that we continue to do that. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Basharon. Just like you mentioned, he's one of my colleagues in the department. We have been working together for quite some years now. He's a very, very good researcher, a friend and brother. Yes, we will meet our line of research, and I will definitely make myself available for your assistance if I'm giving you relevant materials in order to, to complete that particular research project. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm grateful. So, Lane, Brown, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Prof. Tella, and thank you to all the people attending. I see there's another hand. I'm going to ask if you can just make it very quick because we are out of time. And then I'll be closing the session. I don't know who this is. iPhone.
That is Taibat Ahmed is the name.
Yes, Taibat, yes, you can go ahead.
Yes. Yes, Taibat Ahmed, can you just unmute yourself and ask your question? Yes, thank you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, good afternoon, Mrs. Taibat. Can you just go straight to your question?
Professor Tella. and to appreciate him for always imparting knowledge into we young researchers. Thank you very much. God bless you.
See, somebody's unmuted and it's making a noise. I'm not sure who that is. Okay, I think that's all. It doesn't look like there are any other hands at this stage. And yeah, and we're now at, or actually 5 minutes over the time. So I'm going to close the session now and thank everybody for attending, and a really special thanks to Prof. Tella for availing himself for this presentation. And it's wonderful to see so many of you joining this this webinar. I do apologize, for any technical problems along the way, but it's unfortunately it's just one of those things. And yes, we will be sending the presentation and the recording to everybody. And you're also welcome to communicate with Prof. Tella via email, if you've got further questions or comments that you would like to share. So I think that leaves me just to say thank you, and a big thank you to Anna Marie and Lebo at the LIASA office for their assistance, and yeah, and thank you all for attending. It's been a really worthwhile webinar, and we look forward to receiving the presentation. So yeah, everybody keep well, take care, and enjoy the rest of your day.